This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dumpster Diving.
Show no raccoon!
This is where we talk about something horrible in pop culture, usually. Sometimes we find something that, was good and laid into the dust heap of time, but not today, Mike.
This might be the worst movie I've ever seen.
It's definitely, I think, the worst thing we've ever done for dumpster diving.
We've done Small Wonder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have to credit my beautiful, busty bride for this one. She loves Showgirls. I mean, it's entertaining. It's like obviously you're not watching it because it's great. Mm-hmm. And then she recently discovered that there's a sequel to it. So that's what she and I watched last week. Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven.
Yeah. Starring, I don't know, somebody whose name starts with an R. I can't think of her name.
Yeah, and this is the craziest part about the whole thing. In the original Showgirls, there's like a minor character who the dance instructor guy, he gets her pregnant and you never see them again. Yeah. Well, he somehow got the money together. From what I looked up, it said the budget was $40,000, which I do and don't believe.
Yeah.
We did a Kickstarter on this as well. So this minor character wrote, directed, edited, and stars in Ghostbusters 2, Pennies from Heaven.
Raina Raphael is her name.
Yes, the great Raina Raphael. Now, this is a complete shit show from beginning to end.
Yeah, you know what? I read that she was originally they contemplated, Verhoeven thought about casting her in the, what's her name? Gina Gershon.
Elizabeth Berkley?
No,
Gina Gershon.
Yeah, Gina Gershon role. And she looks a lot like Gina Gershon. Like, I can see that.
I think Gina Gershon's a great choice for that because she kind of looks evil. Like, she kind of has like a bitch face in a sexy way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. But they do.
I'm concerned about myself that I personally just like, if a woman just looks like unpleasant or just like looks irritated, like I find that very attractive. No, really, like, some people just have like, they almost look like they have an evil look, like they look kind of evil.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really, my wife doesn't look especially evil, but she does kind of have a resting bitch face sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I obviously very much like the way she looks.
But anyway, so, so they look somewhat alike, Gina Gershon and this chick. But apparently Paul Verhoeven decided that she was too young to play, an aging show.
Yeah, I would think that's a big factor too, because she looks more innocent, and she also, like you said, is a lot younger. Like a very baby face, at least in the original Showgirls. I mean, even this one, she looks young for her age, but for some reason they decided to make the sequel 20 years plus after the original. I think it's like 2010 or something they made this.
Yeah, 2011. That's when this movie came out.
So it's like I think Showgirls was 95. So which I thought it was later than that personally, because I didn't realize what threw me off was I thought Saved by the Bell ended later than that. I don't know why. Like, to me, it seems like Saved by the Bell ended in like 1998. But I think it's because we saw a lot of reruns, and also they did the new class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Saved by the Bell ended in 93, I think, and then they started the college years. Sense, They started the college years in 94, which she wasn't on, obviously.
Yeah, then we told our friend Bill that the guy who plays Zach Morris, Mark Paul Gosselaar, died of a steroid overdose because, first of all, he's like ripped on Saved by the Bell, the new class. Yeah. And also, we both correctly theorized that the show wouldn't be on very long. Like, it'd be canceled soon, so we just canceled soon. And in Bill's mind, it would be because he died, because we said they keep playing the show like in honor of him. Mm-hmm. But and sure enough, it was canceled quickly thereafter.
Yep.
And I think, for all I know, Bill might still think he's dead.
It's definitely possible. Oh my god. Oh, but yeah. So,
but we must remind ourselves that Bill didn't know where the punchline went at one point either. So.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my god. Oh.
But yeah, this movie starts off exactly like the original Showgirl starts off. Mm-hmm. Our protagonist Penny Well, she actually is still living with the dance instructor guy. But then she decides that she wants to be a real dancer, so she goes to Los Angeles, I think.
Yeah, she tries to go to Hollywood to that's what she says. She's trying to get to Hollywood because.
And then Gina Gershon shows up and asks if she wants to fuck or do laundry.
Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, she has conflicting thoughts, or whatever.
I think she had those while writing this movie as well.
She wants to have formal training, just like in Showgirls, because that's what it's going to take for her to be a, quote, real dancer. But she also wants to be the star dancer on this, like, horrible, like, Soul Train ripoff or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they're basically like strippers on Star Dancer.
Yeah, so it's like she wants to do both things somehow. I don't quite.
Yeah, and then she constantly throughout the movie she gets offended when anybody calls her a stripper, but then she makes references to when she was a prostitute.
Yeah, and she does.
And then also, yes, she also does strip.
Like she strips in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, and what's fucked up about that is when you think about it, she wrote this movie. She wanted people to see her strip in the movie.
Yeah. And she wanted people to see her strip at this weird-looking bar with only 3 patrons, where she strips not on a pole, but like up on a table next to this like ceramic Donald Duck character with fading, peeling paint. It's the weirdest.
Like a
thing.
Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Exactly. It's. What the fuck is this? And then she takes some dude for a private dance on a pool table.
Yeah, see again. This goes to my original thought about the budget. See, I think it raised like $5,000 on Kickstarter, but I think it was more like a promotional thing, to like get people's attention, get some buzz out there. Because obviously the movie costs more than $5,000, but I don't know that it costs $40,000. See. Just to get a production together, to hire people and that kind of stuff, that's a lot of money right there. But most of the sketches are like people she knows houses. Mm-hmm. Like they go to like a business and it's clearly someone's house. Like when they are trying out for the Star Dancer, it's like someone's like mansion they're in. It's obviously a house. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I guess it could have. See, $40,000 is very, very low for a movie. But I mean, the production qualities, I can't imagine you had to pay the guy who was in the original Showgirls that much.
Yeah, no kidding.
You could have shot this whole movie in a couple of weeks, I think, like, straight through weeks. It looks very rushed. It's bad quality. The cameras they could be like prosumer level cameras. I don't think they're like Hollywood level film. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it seems, like you said, they're at a pool table. So she probably knew somebody who had a bar. Like, hey, can we shoot our movie here? It's a sequel to Showgirls.
This movie, like you said, 2011. If you filmed a movie on a current generation iPhone, it would look better than
it would
than this movie.
It looked like they used no lighting. I mean, but that's actually a testament to the quality of iPhones. They do very, very good image quality.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tangerine, this movie that won like a bunch of awards, like an art house movie, was shot entirely on an iPhone.
There's a commercial with like a snowball. Have you seen that commercial where the guy did like the epic snowball fight on an iPhone? That's a fucking iPhone. I mean, they very high quality.
Yeah, but so they used.
I mean, very good job, children in China.
Yeah, no kidding. Keep those nets over the windows so they can't jump out. But yeah, I think they used like 2 or 3 generations previous of like digital technology in order to film this movie. I mean, so obviously this movie is a failure in writing. It's a failure in acting. The thing that was the most jarring for me maybe was, like bizarre editing choices all over the place. Just like quick, hard transitions. They'll be in the middle of a conversation, and then all of a sudden
that was weird.
All of a sudden we're someplace else with no like idea of where we are. The director's like, coverage, what's that? We have no idea where we are or the context for anything.
I honestly think this movie was being written as it was being shot, or at least very much edited, dialogue and script wise, because it doesn't look like it was planned.
Is it any way? Is it in any way self-aware? Do you think?
See, that's the thing. The whole time, I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be a comedy or a parody or a straight-up drama.
Yeah, because they're
when I looked it up on IMDb, of course, it said it's campy. It is campy. Is it deliberately campy? I am not 100% sure. I don't.
So I think that there are elements of it where because in a lot of ways it's a remake of Showgirls.
No. It's 100% the exact same movie.
Right.
It's like Cruel Intentions 2, where it like it just uses the same plot, the same exact plot. You know, I wonder if the woman who wrote this is on Twitter. I bet we could get an interview with her, and I would love to do that.
Oh, I will try. I'll give it an honest effort to try to get it.
Really, I mean, if we can find her, I have a lot of questions about this movie, and not even out of the sake of cruelty. I want to know what was going on in her head when she did this. Like, I'm not even kidding. This woman might be mentally ill, and I'm not saying that to be a dick or anything. Like, there's a very weird quality to this movie that I do not understand how a sane person could have done this.
Yeah, well, so speaking of that, she's trying to get to Hollywood. She meets this
from Las Vegas. That's a day's drive, and it's a couple hours drive.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour drive.
It's 2011. You could fucking Uber to Hollywood from Las Vegas, probably.
But she meets this dude.
Who is the guy from the first movie that picked up Elizabeth Berkley? My wife pointed out because I don't recognize anybody.
And she pulls a fucking, and that's the thing is like he's a terrible actor in this. So is it on purpose? I need to know. I'm gonna try to get an interview.
I'm not sure. See, and then okay, she pulls the knife out of him immediately, like no hanky panky. Then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop at the gas station." Yeah, a gun. You're right, a gun. So it's not the switchblade from the first one. They've upped the stakes. So then he's like, okay, I'm going to get a drink. And he stopped there, and then the next thing they cut to them fucking in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then he goes to
pulling a gun on the guy to having sex with him in a bathroom in 5 minutes.
And he goes to pull down her shirt, and then another hard cut, and all of a sudden they're in the car again. And it's like, what is going on? Like I felt like I was getting whiplash.
Yeah, I'm like, was that a fantasy? I don't know if that actually happens.
So she
and then I'm like, okay, obviously she's not going to make herself be nude in this. She wrote the movie, and then the very next fucking
yeah, she's nude a lot in this movie. Like,
and she has a very nice body, not just for a woman of her age, which is sexist and accurate, right. But she looks very nice naked.
Yeah. But yeah, so she like the guy.
Okay, she was married to a rich man, and for a vanity project for like a milestone birthday, he's like, okay, let's make this sexy video of you, and we'll call it a movie. That would make sense, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But they were on Kickstarter for this shit.
Yeah, like I said, I think that must have been just promotional or maybe to do edits because it was like a very low cost. It wasn't $40,000.
But she, so he says we're gonna play strip poker, and if I win. You got to go to this place with me, but if you win, I'll take you all the way to Hollywood. So he takes her to this barn. Why does she think that that's going to be a place to play strip poker?
And she's already had sex with him.
Yeah. So she takes.
Ooh, now I can see you naked.
And he's like, "Oh, I forgot my wallet." So I'm going to go back to, why does he need his wallet if they're playing strip poker? So
yes, and that is what happens in the first movie as well. He's at the casino with her. He's like, oh, I need to go get so-and-so.
So he goes back to the car and then just drives off. Like, I fucked her, we're good.
Yeah, and again, Las Vegas to Los Angeles, what, is that a 2-hour drive probably? It's not far.
It's about 3 hours.
Okay, yeah, 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's nighttime. It was daytime when they left. It's like dead of night.
So she finds some people, one dressed as Marilyn Monroe, and then a couple other fuckers.
Yeah, this was like the beginning of like the surrealness. Like, are they just gonna make a completely different thing here now?
Yeah, this is where
they were not. I think she took every idea she ever had for a movie and threw it into this.
This is where I was like, what the fuck? So they're driving in the car. First of all, the Marilyn Monroe's like, you can't come with us. Fuck you. And one of the guys.
It's a person with a blonde wig.
Yeah. And then one of the guys is like, hey, just come with us. It's okay. So we're in the car. It's revealed that oh, by the way, when she was stripping, she was approached by a Hollywood producer who wanted her to audition for striptease, or for was it striptease?
Showgirls.
It was
I think it was Showgirls.
It was the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Showgirls too. Yeah, for the
Yes.
movie that we were watching.
Yes.
So
And she has this card constantly with her. It's very proper. They spend a lot of the budget on this card, I think, is what happened.
She stores the card apparently in her vagina, because she just opens her legs, pulls it out, looks at it. It's a plain white card with whatever his name is on it, and then just says Hollywood producer in big letters.
Hollywood producer.
No studio affiliation.
That's the card of a guy who picks up women getting off the bus to Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, he's a Hollywood producer.
So then they stop to pee. I don't know why they can't stop at a gas station, but they stop by the side of the road to pee. She has the weirdest phone conversation I've ever heard in my life on camera, where she's
my God, I forgot about this whole part.
She's like, I want to be a star, and blah, blah, blah.
I want to be a star dancer. The word star dancer, don't make that into a drinking game, you will die.
Oh, yeah. So then she's like, I've got to pee, to the phone, and then she hangs up the phone and goes to pee. She pulls the card out again because, she needs her vagina free to pee, I guess. I don't know.
That's not how that works.
I know. She urinates, throws it down on the ground, and then like a cat, kicks some dirt over this. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? She comes back, and for some reason that is never, ever, ever explained in this movie.
Never explained at all.
Marilyn Monroe has murdered the two men that were with her. And then she's like, you fucking slut or whatever. And don't play the drinking game with the word slut or anything like that.
Right.
That's said a lot in this movie. She's like, slut, you shouldn't have looked or whatever. And it's like, what? How was she supposed to know? None of us knew. She wrote the movie and this came out of nowhere.
Did they cut a scene out here? That was my thought here. But yeah, she just fucking violently stabs him to death with a knife, and then she comes after Penny.
Yeah, and then Penny pushes her over very lightly, and she falls on the knife and dies instantly from that.
And then there's just blood all over Penny.
And then Penny decides that here's the other part that's great. So she's hiding behind the thing. She looks, and for some reason, again, Marilyn Monroe's got like $50,000 in her purse.
Yes. Yeah, it's just stacks and stacks of bills.
She this car stops, and the guy's like, hey, what's wrong? Did you blow out a tire or something like that? She looks up and she's like, no, everything's okay. The guy instantly says, hey, I know you. You gave me a birthday dance back in 1995. Now, obviously, it's a reference to the movie, but we're expected to believe that 30 fucking years later, this dude remembers this girl and doesn't matter how much her face has changed or whatever. He knows that's her.
Well, we know he's good at knowing that because he's a police detective.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fine, well, fuck you then. And then, even though he's been driving in a completely concealed car or whatever, feels the need to take the little siren out of his car and put it on his hood at that point, where they should have just had an arrow that pointed to it and said, this is what police do.
Yes.
Oh,
what's your name? My name's Dan. Officer Dan. Police.
Oh, God. Oh,
so now she's got tons and tons of money, so she smartly decides to rent a place, and I can't remember the name of the place, which they say a lot. It's a lot.
Seven sisters or something like that?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, whatever it is, it's $10,000 a month, so why not go there?
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. So $10,000 a month, I mean, I guess, because it's like some vacation, palace or whatever. I don't think they know what things cost in this movie. The dude at the beginning is talking about his Porsche, and he's like, hey, I pick you up in my dad's $1 million Porsche, right?
Yeah,
that fucking car does not cost $1 million.
If there's $1 million Porsche, I think Jerry Seinfeld probably owns it.
Exactly. Fuck. And then later, she buys. Now, I looked this up. I'm ashamed that I did this, but that I put any effort into this at all. But she goes to buy a fur coat, and the girl's like, oh, it's only $29,999.99. It's on sale today.
Yes.
And I was like, $30,000 for a coat? Fuck you. That doesn't happen. And then I looked it up.
It happens.
I looked it up. Apparently fur can... Now here's the thing. I don't think this was sable or whatever, because I think that's the most expensive one from my limited research of it. Is the most expensive kind is sable. I don't think this coat was supposed to be sable. And, fur coats can apparently run as low as like $500 or so. But they, especially the sable ones, can get up to over $50,000. So, I mean, I guess, it makes some amount of sense, but I still don't think that's a fucking $30,000 coat.
Right, because if you need a fur coat, Los Angeles is a place.
That's one of the best lines. Actually, she comes into a pawn shop to look around after having this enormous shopping spree, and the pawn shop owner's like, "Oh, a nice fur coat. What is it, like 100 degrees outside?" Oh my god!
Although I think we can also assume that they just think she's a rube because she's walking around with like wads of like hundreds.
Yeah.
So like, 30,000. It's on sale. Oh, sale.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be dumb not to buy it.
I think that's what it's supposed to imply.
That coat costs 3/4 of the budget of this movie.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't want to spoil anything about this movie, but before we get to talking about it, but in my opinion, the best actor in this movie is Satan. There's a guy that plays, for some reason, he's dressed like Satan, complete with fucking horns and stuff. And this dude, I don't know who he is, but this dude is chewing the fuck out of the scenery in the one scene that he's in, and he is just fucking giving it his all.
You know what? I actually thought you were joking. I thought you meant because obviously Satan made a deal with her to do this movie, so his act was the kindest thing done. Maybe that was just a cameo by the actual Satan. I don't think Satan would want to be associated with this movie.
Agreed. Oh, so I'm trying to think what happens from here now. Fuck. So yeah, she's at the house like you said, and then she meets that dude Godric or something like that.
Yes, who is kind of like Kyle MacLachlan in the first one a little bit, but really not at all.
Yeah. He takes her out to a restaurant. That's his.
And mind you, this guy looks like he's 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be her son.
And he takes her to this thing. There's some swastikas on the wall. Now, at first you think, oh no, but don't worry, it's worse.
It somehow was worse than what I thought.
Yeah, he's talking about how like basically the origin of the swastika and how the Nazis,
the swastika got a bad rap, is what he's saying.
Yeah, the Nazis co-opted it and everything.
And he's correct.
Yeah, absolutely, that is true. But it turns out that he's part of a cult, basically. Some weird fucking like Freemason,
like pseudo Scientology / what movies think of Satanism kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very strange, but yeah, that's where we find Satan, who sings a song in the movie.
You know, I saw this last week. I've already blocked out all of this movie.
But it turns out that this dude is he's like the head of this chapter or whatever the society is, and he's engaged to a very busty blonde woman, and the star of the movie is Penny is upset because she thought that this was a date. He introduces her to some other guy, and it's basically like, oh, that's the other thing too. When she first meets him, she's buying around for the entire bar or whatever, which is it's basically a couple of folding chairs out on someone's patio.
I've seen nicer bars than people's houses.
So she, she's like she talks to him about how she wants to be a dancer, like she talks to everybody, and he's like, "Oh, a dancer," and she's like, "Yeah, I need formal training though," and he's like, "Oh, you don't have formal training yet? Like ballet? Aren't you a little old to be starting ballet?" Like
Yes.
all of a sudden. She picks the one guy that happens to know everything about dancing.
Yes, this guy knows everything about dance. He knows the schools, he knows the instructors, he knows the style, he knows how old you should be.
It's so weird. But it just so happens that he has his own studio and he wants her to be the star dancer.
And isn't he also connected to the Star Dancer show in some way?
Yeah, a little bit, like in a vague way, yes.
I think the woman he's engaged to is a star dancer.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's weird that he wants this new woman or whatever, but I guess it's like that's the Gina Gershon, like Elizabeth Berkley portion of it or whatever. So,
yeah, and speaking of which, they take the subtle lesbian undertones of the original movie and make them an overt lesbian relationship.
Yeah, very overt. There's a scene. So I'm sure all of you that have seen Showgirls, I'll probably do that 1,000 more times for this episode. Everyone that's seen Showgirls, I'm sure remembers the scene where the black guy that says everybody got AIDS and stuff or whatever. That guy has sex with Elizabeth Berkley, and it's very clear she's just like straddling his waist, like he's thrusting and everything in the water. They do.
Oh yeah, it's the that was Kyle MacLachlan actually.
Oh yeah,
she was in the water with, or it looks like she's having a seizure.
Yeah, exactly. They do that, but instead it's the busty girl that's engaged to Godwin or whatever his name is, young Goodman Brown, and and the star, and they keep for some reason cutting back to like tiki torches by the pool. It's the worst thing that tiki torches have been associated with since Charlottesville.
Maybe ever. Yeah, and then we take another hard right. I might have the sequence wrong, but it does not matter for this movie. And they kind of joke that they're wanting her to star in a snuff film.
Yes.
And then there's some debate with her, one of her friends, like, is he kidding? He's like, I don't know. I think my other friend was murdered by him.
Yeah, so fucked up. And then we go to the Star Show, and somebody gets I'm trying to remember now. Someone gets pushed over, just like the Gina Gershon, but it's a different character than the busty lady. So it's like everything's messed up with different roles. But she gets pushed down, and it's implied that maybe it's the a homosexual guy who's still alive. Who pushed her down because he wanted to be the understudy and he wanted to take over or something like that.
Yeah, which made no sense because they repeat it's very weird. He's like he dresses as a woman, but no one likes him at all.
Yeah,
even though except for the main character who likes him. So I don't know, but yeah.
They all of a sudden one of the producers is like, hey, why don't we call Godwin and see if we can get somebody? You know, we're not part of the most powerful chapter of whatever fucking cult we're in for nothing. Let's see what he's got for us.
He's an expert in dance.
Yeah, and the girl that got hurt, the original star, she's like, yeah, what we need somebody good, but also dumb. And someone with a dark secret so that we can blackmail them so that when I'm able to come back, we can write into their contract that they could get fired right away. No, you don't need someone with a dark secret. You solved it already. You just need to write in their contract that they can be fired at any time.
Or have it a limited contract. I mean, you generally know how long they'll be out for.
That's all you need. You don't need to find someone with a dark secret to blackmail. It's like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
So they, they get what's her name, and then I don't know what happens. Yeah, what happens from there?
I really do not remember, to be honest with you.
I think it basically generally follows the rest of the plot of. I know her boyfriend comes back, the one from from the original Striptease. He comes back.
Yeah, Showgirls, yes.
Oh, Showgirls. Fuck. I don't know why I confuse. Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
They both came out around the same time. Yeah, it's a common thing. I mean, they came out around the same.
It's like Dante's Peak and Volcano, or Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Yes. It's so weird how that happens. I mean, it's like, clearly they would have known there was another movie, but they're like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. There's
enough demand for 2 Volcano movies. It turned out there wasn't enough for 1.
There wasn't enough demand for Pierce Brosnan.
No.
Oh, man. He was in some movie, The Weekly Planet did a thing on this, actually, where I guess he did a Welsh accent in the movie, and the only thing that he said in his Welsh accent was, "Buy me a pint."
I think it was actually during that movie. There was they have like Make-A-Wish. There was a young man, like he was 17. He wanted to go on a hunt. Like that was his wish. He wanted to go hunting.
Okay.
So Pierce Brosnan, who is a vegetarian and like a PETA activist, he goes, "Oh, instead, how about you come and spend a day on the set of Dante's Peak?" But I think the kid refused.
Smart kid.
I hope he's still. I mean, I've heard recently that there's been less Make-A-Wishes because people are surviving more, which is great. So hopefully that's true for this kid as well.
Absolutely. There was John Mulaney told this great story.
Where, I actually heard this the other day.
Yeah, I'll tell the people out there in case you guys haven't heard this, but he the Make-A-Wish Foundation contacted him and everything, and this young guy wanted to meet him and everything, and he was like, "Oh, great," and he's like, yeah, he wants to know what you do during the day, and he's like, "Oh no," he's like, "This is so boring." Like, what I do during the day. He's like, "So what I decided to do is, we got together and everything." He's like, "I figured I'd take him over to SNL because I still know a lot of people around there and everything." So like he says he takes him around SNL and everything. He's like, "Oh, this is where this is where that is," and Lin-Manuel Miranda was there because I guess he was the musical guest, or maybe he hosted. I don't know.
Host.
No, what?
He was the host.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I don't watch it, so I'm not sure. But they were rehearsing and everything, and he's like, "Oh,
well, I don't think he's a musician."
Well, he does doesn't he do? Oh, I guess he just writes musicals. And,
I mean, yeah, he's in musicals, but I don't think he's going to be him singing.
Yeah, that's true. Just acapella him rapping.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Musical cast.
Or it turns out he's really good at playing the harpsichord. So it's just him like, oh, he's famous. People will watch anything with this guy on it. Oh, he's doing music. No, he's just playing the harpsichord.
So he says, let me introduce you to, I know him or whatever. And he's like, I didn't know what to call him, Lin-Manuel or Lin or whatever. So he introduces him and everything, and the kid's freaking out and stuff. And the punchline is, Mulaney obviously tells the story way better than I do, but the punchline
and more in the style of a 1930s radio announcer.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, now see, they're walking away, and the kid's like, "Oh, I don't know if I should say it," and he's like, "Oh, just go on and say it." And he's like, "Lin-Manuel Miranda was my first choice." So awesome.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, the kid just really loves music.
Well, yeah. But good for. I mean,
yeah, good for him.
Great for that.
He got his
kid.
First and second choice.
Yeah, because he got to meet both of them. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and again, hope he's doing well.
Yep, absolutely.
I think it was actually a she, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
but I could be wrong.
Was it? Yeah, could be. I don't know. You can never tell.
You just don't see gender.
No. Well, not in stories.
Unlike me. Unlike me.
Yeah, you're the one that said it was National Women's Day or whatever.
International.
Yeah, International Women's Day.
Yeah, so they get there one day.
You think they celebrate a lot International Women's Day in Saudi Arabia? It's a big day there, right?
I'm not going to comment. I like my head being attached to my shoulders.
Oh, baby, let me see your philtrum. For those of you that don't know, that's the little divot in your in your upper lip.
Upper lip, yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this movie. I don't even know what happens, though I do know at the very end. Actually, I think she murders somebody.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she becomes a murderer, which is the least strange thing about this movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so she murders somebody, and then after she murders somebody, she gets back in the car, and it's the same driver from the beginning as it is in the first Showgirls.
Yep. Only this time she shoots him with a gun that's blanks or something. I don't know.
I actually would recommend this movie because it's just such an odd thing to watch. It's fascinating, especially if you use some kind of hallucinogenic drug. This would be the movie for you.
Oh yeah. If you're a person that likes The Room or movies like that where the movie is so bad it's good or whatever, this is one of those. In my opinion.
And anyone who is listening to this and thinks we're exaggerating, we are underplaying how fucking weird this movie is.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot we didn't talk about that's really fucking bizarre.
Like if we wrote notes, it would be as long as the script. That's how fucked up this movie is.
Yeah, this movie didn't have a script.
It's so bad that you can't even. You feel bad for the people who are involved in it. Like I mean, it's like she tried, I guess. I mean, I don't know why you would make this movie or think this would be a good movie. Why you would spend any time making this movie? Spending 10 minutes writing the script for this movie, which might be more than it took, is waste of time. It's a waste of your time to be involved in this movie. To watch it. It's an experience. It's an experience unlike you will see in any Hollywood movie.
Here's my thought though. If everything was intentional, if it was made intentionally bad, if every decision was intentional, like if she's writing the script and she's like, oh yeah, bizarre fucking cuts where it's just like you don't even know what the fuck's going on kind of thing. Like if she did this all intentionally, it's maybe brilliant. I don't know.
It's even worse. It's not funny. It doesn't work even on that level.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
If it's meant to be funny, it's not fun. It's not funny for being unfunny. There's nothing. I don't understand this movie. This movie is baffling. That's what the genre this is. A baffling genre of movie.
If you go to Blockbuster, the one in Oregon, I guess, and avoid coronavirus while you're there, it'll just be in the section where there's just a giant question mark.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
There'll be books by Matthew Lesko in this movie.
Oh, yeah. But I don't have anything more to say about it. It's like you said, it wasn't funny. It was just like, it was like watching like a car crash and then
in slow motion.
And then an autopsy of the clown that was driving the car.
Yes.
It was really weird.
It's not good. But
yeah, check it out.
It's $4 at Amazon. It's well worth the $4. I mean, it's something. I think you should watch this movie just because it's so bizarre. I mean, if you ever want to make movies yourself, this is everything you don't want to do. This is someone completely unaware of what's going on, in my opinion.
It's definitely a great lesson.
I don't know. Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, we will see you next time where we will statistically watch something better than this.
Yes.
Talk to you next time. Bye.
Still better than Star Wars.
Bryden.